Magnussen returning to Gunther's office. We've got nearly 27.5k of you following the subreddit, and this one is going to be the final one before the season kicks off, and we get some regular videos maybe here and some reactions for you guys on Reddit. But this is going to be kind of an overview, hopefully, I'm guessing, of some memes coming out this second week of testing, which was an interesting one, of course. Mercedes coming out with no side pods, with a little interesting action with K-Mag back in action for Haas now in his return to Formula 1. So let's see what this week has cooking up for the subreddit. And we start off with this great one, the great Haas master plan. Haas when everyone's testing, P9, P12, not much to talk about. Haas when they have the track to themselves, K-Mag, fastest lap of all. Schumacher, I think, wasn't it P2 and that last day? So I don't know if there's just something about being by yourself, or, you know, they're just going for a bit of a glory lap or whatever. But the Haas actually looks okay. You know, even Lando said that Haas actually have decent pace. They might be in the mix a little bit. So who knows? Maybe taking a whole year out and focusing just on this year actually did pay them dividends. I mean, to be fair, in many ways, the car does look a bit different and interesting in terms of the route they've taken compared to some other teams. So, yeah, Haas on for a championship fight. So I got two clowns come on now. Two clowns working for me today. Myself and Bet. Now, come on. Come on, okay? You know I'm gonna give you the 3000 IQ strategy to get the win on the last lap. It's how I do things. Well, oh yeah, I saw this. Magnussen saying the Haas looked like Herbie, the Volkswagen Beetle with the colouring, and then he drives for Haas. So how the turntables. He is now driving the very car he mocked. Although it doesn't look like this anymore, because of course they removed the blue. So not quite Herbie exactly, but yeah, you know, it's one of those things where literally that's how much of a miracle turnaround this was, of things falling into place for K-Mag to come back like this, because he had no illusion of coming back, so he was happy to make a little joke at the expense of his former team. But the turntables have fully turned. I don't think they'll care very much. I think both parties will be a lot happier. Ocon in a pink car. Am I in 2019? Is this the racing point? Yeah, I mean, literally maybe. Apart from like the small little bit red sponsor here, there's nothing actually that much to differentiate it from that old racing point. The Alpine, I guess, logo a tiny bit, but you can hardly see it. So really from afar and on track, especially if you're sat on the circuit, it's really just going to look like a racing point car going around for the first 2 rounds, and then it switches back to being a somewhat Alpine car. Codemasters after pre-season testing, absolutely done. They had no head start on the Alfa Romeo for sure, and even the car mold's going to change. I mean, to be honest, I think now is probably, with the cars we get to Bahrain, that will probably be the car we see in the game, minus the Alpine, because I reckon Alpine will probably tell Cody's to make, obviously, the livery be the main blue one. In terms of the car shapes, I reckon, you know, if Merc keep the no side pod look, that will be the car we get in the game, because generally they do it from pre-season testing into the first race. The first race, I feel, is like usually the cut-off point when they confirm with every team about how they want the car to look. So it's not really even up to Cody's doing. It's what the teams tell them. Merc could well go and tell them, no, can you actually make the car with the original side pods? Because they ultimately are the ones signing off on it, basically. And the same thing with the sponsors and whatnot. So I really hope, I like the fact McLaren covered up the engine cover at the top, but I'm really scared that how plain that car is going to look in game without the Velo or the Better Tomorrow sort of sponsoring. And then, yeah, the Merc's going to look very weird. I don't know about anyone else. Let me in the comments below. There's something weird about the onboards, which I think in the game is going to also look just as weird and take time, you know, getting used to. It's kind of almost like they've just been stretched out like that even more, even though last year's cars were already pretty wide cars. But even more so, the way the chassis meets the side pods and the rest of it, it just looks like, especially on like cars like AlphaTauri, where it looks very similar to last year in many ways. They've kind of just gone like this on Photoshop and stretched it out. And then in the case of Mercedes, the car's so plain from the onboard, it looks like it's not done yet. Like it's like a prototype fully. More reasons why I think Sebastian Vettel's going to win the championship. The Vettel cycle. Okay, no hair. It's a dip. Glorious mane. He wins the championship. 4 times champion. Pain. No nowhere. Glorious Main, we're here, and so it's getting to there. Well, you know, if you fall onto that, then yeah, sure, and we have that weird coincidence thing about, you know, years following on, but from what we've seen in testing, I mean, I'm going to do a predictions video hopefully later in the week, but I'm not sensing it's going to be going to green. Look at who you are. This is amazing to see. Williams at the top of the R&D chart. Of course, we've had that little bit in the My Team career mode with Williams being at the sharp end, but it's good to see. I want to see more of it, to be honest, in the future F1 games. I want to see more of this randomness, you know, AlphaTauri being Red Bull, you know, just, you know, other teams being at the top. We had a few years, you know, 2019, 2020, where it was very stale, even with the R&D changing. There's only subtle changes, whereas this year was the first time I myself personally in my career mode, and some of you guys clearly now with this, are actually seeing other teams, lower teams from this area of the championship get up to the top. You know, it's good to see, especially after multiple seasons. I don't know what season you'd be on. I'm going to guess 130 million in the bank. Williams up here. I'm going to say at least you're, you know, a good few seasons into the career mode, which is great to see. The class of 2022, but Daniel is not there. This is so weird, man. I was just saying this earlier. This ruins all the promo work for F1. Like, they're not going to use this shot then for, like, you know, promo trailers. Like, down at the end of the season where it's like, oh, the final race, all the drivers coming and walking through. Because DR's not there. He's sick. Hopefully he gets better. Obviously, he's come positive with COVID. So, hopefully he's calm for the Bahrain GP. That'll be a real sucker punch for both McLaren and him, of course. But, yeah, awkward, very weird situation. I doubt they're going to use this really now for the and if they do, that's kind of just peak on Ricciardo and McLaren. Oh god, not this again.
To McDonald's. How can I help you? Can you work it? Please.
Oh
yes,
no.
I have a perfect job for you.
That is a spin for Mazepin.
It's just so bad. This one was bad. This one was just Haas pulling up to testing me like no car, just tires and vibes. This is the F1 glitch where somehow the car becomes visible. That was going to be Haas until it finally arrived for them late on in the day, but wonderful. Haas, I've really got, you know, K-Mag returning, the good lap times. Hopefully that's the curve back up and having some, you know, nice continuity, because Haas have just had so many punches down and down and down. You can't have any more.
Having declared the Tiguan the victor by default, we took the Stig to the tip and threw him away.
Wonderful, wonderful. A minor accident? What? This is more than a minor accident. What is going on here? What is... You crash into the back of the safety car. It's again at... What is it? What is it with Spa? And the safety car crashes and flipping a car over. We had that last time in the last Reddit video. And you've got it somersaulted over him backwards as well. Without any sort of front end. Because that tyre is off. It's peculiar. It's something about Spa and a safety car crash in the F1 game. I was fighting for the win before this. Oh, it's a classic Ferrari pit stop. What is it? He's got 61 seconds, you know? 61 seconds has begun already. That's... So he's been sitting there for a long while. That's a whole ass minute. Haas and Bahrain testing day one be like... Yeah, that's just it. No car, just imagination and good old fun. New AlphaTauri sounds awesome. It sounded very different. The microphone placement, very odd and accurate. No one and the 2022 cars bouncing around. That is porpoising at its finest there. The wheel track. And it's a Red Bull. And it's a Red Bull car. Have you done that? Have you done that in Mario Kart? That is actually great. Sandbagging, never heard of it. Mercedes, will you please listen? I don't have the quickest car. And the entire paddock, I'm not falling for it. I don't know. They are always so adamant about these things, and then they rock up. So I'm not going to comment on any of it until we see qualifying Saturday, Q3 Bahrain, and then more importantly the race space, because they could even have a bad car over one lap, and then in the race it's all fine. So let's not judge anything until that final official race result in the first get-go. And you know, even if they have a slow car at the start, they are going to find a way to get back in within about 4 or 5 races. Magnussen returning to Gunter's office. What? He's taken the whole door off. That's how Drive to Survive Season 5 starts. In what race 2022 will we hear George, this is James? E is Bahrain test apparently. Race 1, Bahrain first race season opener. E, the testing already pain. Priorities. My man has priorities. This is the mood. Okay, this is the mood. If I had, back when I was in school, I didn't have Sky Go or anything like that, and I just didn't bother getting a stream or anything like that. And they didn't even have testing streams back when I was watching F1 in school days. But this would be me. Big ups everyone who's still at school, still at work, and they're dedicated to testing and watching things like this. The thing about adding 2 + 2 is you get 4. This is true. I just finished watching Drive to Survive 4. I don't know if I'll make a video on it or not, but yeah, there's a lot of unnecessary sort of just like, and then they raced. Oh god, this is gonna be great. DTS Season 5, Episode 1 trailer. All the wrong audio. Great, yep. This was all the same race, apparently, as well. They all use different shots, but it's the same race.
There are certain moments where I felt very, very vulnerable in that moment.
It's testing. This is great use of the audio. This is actually how DTS use the audio. It actually is. So that's where we're going to end it off then, guys. If you have enjoyed it, hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're new around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.